What is up YouTube, and welcome to this Rick and Morty Season 5 Episode 1 breakdown and review. I'm very excited that we got the return of Rick and Morty, and I spent this weekend watching the past 4 seasons. And to be honest, this is possibly one of the strongest openers, I think, where Morty has to get Rick out of a bad situation, only to end up at dinner with the only person Rick fears, which is Mr. Nimbus. The name of the episode itself is a reference to My Dinner with Andre, which was also a reference in Harmon's other show, Community, with it forming a basis of a whole episode, which was a really good one if you want to check that out. The movie was a conversation about retiring and changing, much like Rick and Nimbus's discussion there about their lull in fights. In the intro, we saw a Voltron-style suit for each member of the family, and Noob seemingly dying, which I do wonder if we will see Vindicator's return, because I really hope we do. The crystals at the start looked similar to the Calaxian crystals used for drugs throughout the show, but also have visions of other realities, which look really cool. As Morty crashes to Earth, he calls Jessica, hoping for closure, but manages to actually score a date with Jessica herself. Finally, they can watch a movie together as Morty lands in the sea and we see fear from Rick for the first time. We see Mr. Nimbus, a parody of Aquaman and Namor the Submariner, in both design and demeanour, as Namor is pretty damn smug, so is Mr. Nimbus. Now Rick, annoyed, well, he has to actually have a sit down and have a peace treaty with Mr. Nimbus, as Nimbus is his oldest and fiercest enemy and his only true nemesis. I did find it weird that Morty hadn't really heard of him before, despite we had the Ricklantis mix-up. While we didn't actually see their adventure in Atlantis, we saw the beginning and the end of them going and returning. There's a bit of an odd one there. But Morty is reduced to getting wine after wondering what's so bad about Mr. Nimbus. But as the show people said, well, the episode is about how anyone can make an enemy from simply doing nothing, as Summer is sent to the Marianas Trench, one of the deepest places in the oceans, to get the shell that gives Nimbus his powers. Also, as a side story, the therapy is going well for Jerry and Beth, but of course we don't know still who is the real Beth, with Space Beth still out there. But they are becoming sex positive, which leads them to a menage a trois with Mr. Nimbus at the end, hinting that he and Rick did a similar thing. Maybe that happened with Diane as well. We see Rick send the ocean wine into a portal to age it up, as Nimbus arrives and Rick just keeps saying how stone cold he is and that he can control the police. I thought it was funny the minute Jerry said his race, the police arrived, only to be forced to get down to it. Jerry seems very different, having been confident this episode, which is possibly due to his newfound stability and respect from Beth, leading Nimbus to give him the nod for a threesome and a gift basket. However, Morty isn't so lucky in the carnal department this episode, as he heads back through the portal to get the wine, where we find Bovie with his wife, as Bovie helped him through the portal in their Narnia-style world. Now, Hoovie offers our boy Morty some relationship advice, but returns only to find his home ravaged, his wife dead, and his son killing him. Hoovie tells his son about the boy. It reminds me of the Flaxans in Invincible, who invaded Earth, but time moved differently for them, leading them to age as they came to our Earth, and throughout their civilization keep attacking, and humanity becomes the biggest target for all of them, and Morty becomes the Hoovie world Omni-Man, so to speak. Now, Morty leads to becoming the unwittingly enemy of the Hoovie world, and shows how by simply doing nothing he can still become a villain, as Hoovie's lineage came to fight him, and they constantly actually fight as Morty accidentally attacks them. He becomes their legend as a castle is built around the portal to trap them, and his face as a demon is on all of their banners. The people think they got him, but he does escape, as they do think he will be back. As a tale as old of time, they felt safe, as the son of the king thinks the boy isn't coming back. However, he's manipulated by a Jafar or Palpatine or different mystic character to do his bidding. I loved how they powered him up and made him this huge thing, only for this person to actually kill him, take power for himself. And I did find it funny how he was proved wrong as Morty comes back to get the wine and clears house. But Morty does eventually get the wine and they kiss. But before this, we had an interdimensional cable episode showing a Nintendo 69, which was pretty funny. And he was even referenced later by Rick, saying that he prefers to have his Nintendo 69 than fight Nimbus. Also referenced was someone called Kyle, who Nimbus preferred, referring to Morty as his new one. We know Rick had a life before Morty was born, and the only other Kyle was actually involved with the Miniverse and that Teenyverse episode. And Rick's backstory or canon, Diane, as we know, was possibly Rick's wife and mother of Beth. We saw her die at the hand of another Rick in the season 3 opener and was supposedly actually understanding of Rick's work, with their life being wrecked when the portal gun was created by this Rick. Presumably the truth was massaged by the Galactic Federation, but seeing as Namor was a love rival of Reed Richards and Nimbus is basically Namor, I imagine Rick had regular contact with Nimbus, maybe even pre-portal gun. It also confirms she is indeed real and not a Federation trick. Simple Rick gave up the life once Beth was born, so it's going to be interesting to see where this actually goes. Now Morty, almost getting there with Jessica, is attacked by the Traveler Adam, sent to the portal to kill Morty, but the fight ends up with Jessica being taken. Now this did remind me of Fortnite, where we have the Traveler and all that mythology, and of course Rick and Morty are actually in this current season of Fortnite, so there might be something there, as Jessica is preserved in time and has seen all of time. She has seen the time bird like Adam did, and it changed her as Morty tries to escape, which ends up with Rick being taken. Now Jessica has now become a time god, having seen all of time, and she knows all of the adventures that come up, and she says, let's just be friends, which was golden, absolutely golden. And it does again remind me of the Death Crystals, how even when Morty had that chance, well, it all went wrong. And the Time Bird is a very interesting one. I'd like to see that explored a bit more. That would be fun to see, and she says she was a side character, but there's more of her hinting at her side character nature in the story, which is just the writers having fun there and breaking almost the fourth wall, I guess. We also see Rick and Nimbus's fragile peace end as Summer doesn't know what to do with the shell and Rick is taken by the police. Overall, to me, this was an instant classic, with the Hoovy world being the clear highlight. It had some references to the other episodes, and I found it interesting that when Morty returns to fight Hoovy's jacked kid, he says, "Why are old guys so jacked?" hinting at the line that was said in the Space Train episode about the ticket collector. Now, while Space Beth was missing, next week, well, she's mentioned in the promo for episode 2 as the family are being hunted, but Rick has made copies of the family around the country, which I'm very excited to see that whole episode. Overall, I loved this episode, and it really was a strong entry. So let me know what you think down below in the comments. Do drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and do subscribe with notifications on if you want more from us, and I hope you have an awesome day. I'll see you soon, and goodbye.